Hello everyone, welcome back to Beavers Science Academy Bangalore. This is the daily news analysis. Today, as usual, we are going to discuss certain articles which are going to be important from UPSC prelims, mains and interview perspective. So, the first article for 19th August 2025 is from the first page of or the front page of Bengaluru edition, Karnataka edition. The article reads Karnataka High Court on POCSO applicability to women. Very important article. So we will discuss about POCSO and also we will discuss about this particular Karnataka High Court judgment. In syllabus, it comes under GS2 Polity and Governance, and example of judiciary ensuring child protection laws are applied without gender bias. So this is the UPSC relevance. The case title is recently a 52-year-old woman was accused of compelling a 13-year-old boy to a penetrative sexual assault, which is a 2020 incident, but the complaint was lodged in 2024. So that is why this case was taken up. Court was High Court of Karnataka, and judge was Justice M. Nagaprasanna. The key facts were the accused were Archana not relevant for us, and the victim was a 13-year-old boy, neighbor initially helping her upload paintings to Instagram, and then the assault happened between May to June 2020. So rest of the case is not relevant for us. The court's observation is important for us. The court's observation is that gender neutrality of POCSO. Court said that Section 4 and 6 of POCSO Act, that any person who compels a child to sexual act is an offender, irrespective of their gender, be it a male or a female, or in fact a transgender. Next, pronoun he must be read as any person, male or female. So law is gender neutral, inclusive and not restricted to men. So here the defendants of Archana, the 52-year-old woman, said that she doesn't belong to male category, that is why she should not be considered or tried under this act. However, the court said that the he in the act means male or female or any person. The court also rejected any sort of stereotype. The argument that women is passive, man is active in an intercourse is archaic, unacceptable in modern jurisprudence. Next, courts must not allow gender stereotypes to influence legal reasoning. The court said that women is passive or men is active is very archaic. That cannot be applied to modern jurisprudence. Here, be it a man or a woman, if they are assaulters or if they are the person who committed assault, they are active members, regardless of their gender. Next, delay in complaint. So the defendant said that if the like a trauma or if the assault has actually happened, why didn't the defender come early? Why didn't he complain early? So that was one of the case against this particular person, 13-year-old boy. If the case happened 4 years back, why complain now? The court said that the psychological trauma often causes delay in disclosure. Okay, because the person went through psychological trauma, so there was a delay in disclosure, and cannot be sole ground for quashing the case. Actually, the delay in complaint and the reason behind complaint was another issue. The person, the 13-year-old boy who is now 17 years old, was going through a sort of session with a psychiatrist, where in session with psychiatrist he was going through mental stress and mental trauma, where he disclosed that he was sexually abused by a 50-year-old woman. So this came into news now, and his mother complained to the court. So that is why he was able to disclose this. The gap in 13 to 17 years, that is the 4 years, says that this was because of the psychological trauma. He was not able to disclose his identity or disclose the trauma he went through. Next, potency test irrelevant. That is, the victim's age is a minor plus the nature of allegation is sufficient for the case to proceed, and you do not need any potency test. Okay. Next, the significance of this case is the legal significance is it reinforces that POCSO is gender neutral, ensures protection of boys as well as girls. Next, social significance, it challenges patriarchal norms or notions that only men can be aggressors. Next is psychological. It recognizes trauma, delayed disclosure, and rejects myth around victim behavior. Next is jurisprudential. That is, it strengthens child rights by rejecting stereotypes and affirming inclusivity. So, very significant judgment. You can quote this judgment whenever you are writing an answer about POCSO or with respect to any essays as well. Now, let's have a brief discussion about this POCSO Act. What is POCSO? The full form reads Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act of 2012. The context was it was enacted in 2012 to address rising child sexual abuse cases. It applies to all the children below the age of 18 years irrespective of gender. So it is a gender neutral law which was upheld in Karnataka High Court case. Next, key provisions are it provides definitions and scope. That is, child is any person below the age of 18 years. Types of offences not necessary for you. You can just pause the video and look into it. So there are penetrative sexual offences, aggravated penetrative sexual assault by police, armed forces or relatives, etc. Sexual assault, non-penetrative physical contact with the sexual intent, sexual harassment, using children for pornography. All these kinds of like crimes are considered as offences in this particular case or particular law. So it is wide. So it covers all kinds of offences holistically. Next, gender neutrality, that both victims as well as the perpetrators can be of any gender. Okay, in this case the victim was male, the perpetrator was female. Okay, next, child friendly procedures, mandatory reporting of offences, FIR without delay, recording at child's residence in the presence of parents. Okay, next, no aggressive questioning and confidentiality of a child's identity has to be maintained. Next, in camera trial under section 37 and evidence of child recorded within 30 days. Next, trial to be completed within 1 year. Okay, next, the punishments. Punishments were for penetrative sexual assault a minimum of 10 years and expandable to life imprisonment. Aggravated penetrative sexual assault minimum 20 years, extendable to life or death penalty. Post 2019 amendment. So the 2019 amendment was introduced so that the punishments are more severe and more number of cases or more number of offences can be included in the law. Next, sexual assault minimum 3 years but expandable till 5 years. Sexual harassment up to 3 years and use of child for pornography is up to 5 to 7 years plus fine. Many people believe these offences these punishments are still less because the assault, the nature of assault is so grave that the punishment should also be grave in the nature as well. Next, institutional framework. Under this law, there are special courts for speedy trial, which is provided under section 28 of POCSO Act. Next, child welfare committees and special juvenile police units to assist these cases. Next, NCPCR and SCPCR, that is national level and state level, to monitor the implementation of POCSO Act. Next, the presumption of guilt, that is, if victim states offence as occurred, court presumes accused guilty. That is, accused must prove his innocence. This is one of the very serious offence or serious drawback or serious controversy regarding this POCSO Act. That is, if accused person says that the assault has happened, then the victim says that the offence has happened, then it is presumed that the person is guilty, the accused is guilty. Okay, then it is the duty of the guilty person or the accused person to prove is innocent. So sometimes this has been misused also. Okay, let's not get into the discussions. Next, recent developments in 2019 amendment. Death penalty was included for aggravated penetrative sexual assault. Punishment for storage or distribution of child pornography. Next, the judicial interpretations. Courts have reinforced gender neutrality, upheld child-friendly procedures, and stressed protection of victims' dignity. Okay. Next, the significance is it is first comprehensive child-centric law in India, recognizes psychological trauma and delayed disclosures, ensures speedy justice with special courts, Next, reinforces India's obligations under UN Convention on the Rights of Child. However, there are certain criticisms as well. Criticism is any consensual sexual act, okay, consensual sexual act is also considered as an offense here, and it treats cases between 18 to 16-year-old boy and girl and 50 to 16 or 17-year boy and girl same itself. Okay, there has to be proportionality. The person or a male, if he is 18 and the female is 16 years, and if there is a consensual sex, it is treated as the same. And if 50 years old and 17 years old and there is a consensual sex, it is also treated the same. So this has to be addressed. Okay, so recently there was a controversy. High Court said that we have to reduce the age limit of child to 16 years from 18. They said that most of the cases in POCSO happens between the age of 16 to 18. So the court said we have to reduce it to from 18 to 16. The definition of child should be below the age of 16, so we can avoid more number of cases. So it was it was obviously it was bound to be controversial. So many of the people criticized the court for these kind of interpretations. Okay, these are the criticisms. The court or the government has to address these issues. Next, India bloc considers motion to remove Chief Election Commissioner Ganesh Kumar. Okay, this is a political drama that is happening in India with respect to Bihar's special intensive revision. Okay, so special intensive revision was taken in the state of Bihar by the Chief Election Commission or the Election Commission, and the opposition party accuses that the Chief Election Commissioner is in line with the ruling political party, that is the BJP, and they are trying to disenfranchise Biharis. Okay, disenfranchisement, that is the right to vote of the many of the peoples are being taken away under the name of SIR. So recently the CEC Ganeshwar said that if you have any proof regarding the disenfranchisement, if you have any proof that I am working with the ruling party, then file an affidavit. If you are not going to file an affidavit, then I am going to file an affidavit about consent, about spreading misinformation about the Chief Election Commission. So that is the news. We will see what happens with respect to Election Commission removal. So UPSC relevance, GS paper 2, polity and governance and constitutional provisions. So the India bloc, the opposition parties, is considering a motion to remove Chief Election Commissioner. The reason, at a recent press conference, the CEC accused opposition of spreading misinformation and made what they termed as politically charged accusations. So the court said that, the opposition party said that these opinions of the Chief Election Commissioners are against the neutrality of the Election Commission. So they want to move towards a removal of Chief Election Commissioner. So all these news is not important for us, but the process of Election Commissioner removal is important for us. So the constitutional basis is under Article 324 of the Constitution. It establishes Election Commission. The composition is Chief Election Commissioner plus other election commissioners. Presently, there is one Chief Election Commissioner plus 2 other election commissioners. The security of tenure is provided to ensure independence, because the main role of Election Commission is to ensure free and fair elections, which is a fundamental provision in basic structure doctrine. Next, how is the removal of Chief Election Commissioner happens? It is similar to Judge of Supreme Court. It is can be removed by President of India only on the basis of motion passed by both the houses of parliament, only by a special majority, that is majority of all the total memberships plus 2/3 members present and voting, on the grounds of proven misbehavior or incapacity. Next, removal process of election commissioners other than the election commissioners is can be removed by president only on the recommendations of Chief Election Commissioner. This creates a sort of distinction between Chief Election Commissioner and the election commissioners. Chief Election Commissioner is protected on the same lines as Supreme Court judge, whereas Election Commissioner has a weaker protection. That is, he is dependent on the Chief Election Commissioner's recommendations to President. So, On this particular aspect of this removal of Chief Election Commissioner and the Election Commissioner, judiciary has given its interpretation. First is in SS Dhanava case. In this case, the court held that ECs do not have equal protection as Chief Election Commissioner. And then in TN Session case, it established EC's equal status in decision making, but protection in removal process still unequal. Okay, so the takeaway is current controversy shows the tension between Election Commission of India and opposition, raising concerns over independence of the Election Commission. Process of removal is deliberately made rigid to safeguard neutrality, but debate continues about whether EC should also enjoy the same protection as EC for institutional independence. This particular removal process becomes important for you. There can easily be a question on removal of Chief Election Commission in the mains. So read about it properly and know the step-by-step process in removal of election election commissioners. Next, another article from the Hindu, which is in the editorial section. It is the path to ending global hunger runs through India. In syllabus, it is mainly important for GS paper 2, governance, social justice and international relations, and also government schemes and policies. Can also be important in GS paper 3 as well. Okay, so under this article or editorial, they talk about global hunger trends. That is, unnourished population as of 2024 is 673 million, which is around 8.2%, down from 688 million in 2023. Still above the pre-pandemic levels, which was 7.3% in 2018. Next, it represents a welcome reversal after the COVID-19 surge. So, the author says there is a higher India's role. That is, undernourishment in India declined from 14.3% to 12% in 2 years. 30 million fewer hungry people despite the pandemic disruptions. Whereas the world suffered large scale of setbacks during the COVID-19 pandemic and many people moved into hunger or poverty in the rest of the world, India was able to bring out more people out of the poverty, out of this hunger. So which is a laudable or very applaudable achievement of Indian government. Key driver for this was policy innovations, digital governance and improved service delivery. This led to 30 million fewer people going hungry. Next, transformation of public distribution system. This has been a key driver in reducing the hungry people. The important transformation was related to digitalization. That is, Aadhaar enabled targeting, real-time inventory and biometric authentication. Next is One Nation, One Ration Card. Portability across the states, vital for migrants, which was one of the key controversy, but it has had a positive impact because the migrants who move from one state to another state for work or any other related issues are now able to avail ration in the particular state where they are living now. Okay. Next, coverage is over 800 million people ensured subsidized staples. Next, the impact is it enabled rapid scale up during the COVID-19. Next, shift from calories to nutrition. Challenge is cost of heavy diet is unaffordable to 60% of the population in India. High prices of nutrient dense foods and weak cold chain and poor market linkages as the reason for this unaffordability. Government initiatives to address the shift from cholera to nutrition is PM Poshan Abhiyan of 2021. Aim is nutrition sensitive school feeding, not just addressing the hunger but also addressing the issue of hidden hunger or micro hunger. Next, integrated child development services, focusing on dietary diversity. The progress is because of these schemes, diets are slowly becoming more affordable despite the increasing food inflation in India. Okay. Next, persistent structural challenges. Even as the hunger declines, malnutrition, micronutrient deficiency, and obesity are rising in India. The obesity is rising among the poor urban and rural populations. So, there is a need for agri-food system transformation. How do you address the issues of micronutrients and deficiency? By agri-food system transformation. So, here We should boost production and affordability of nutrient rich fruits such as pulses, fruits, vegetables, and animal products. Reduce post harvest losses, which is almost 13% via cold storage and digital logistics. Promote women led food enterprises, cooperatives, and FPOs, especially climate resilient crops. Next, leverage digital advantage such as AgriStack, eNAM, geospatial tools for better market access and planning. So, the global significance is India's model is a symbol of hope for the global south. Demonstrates that hunger reduction is scalable. That is, it can be expanded to large population sizes if there is political will, digital governance, and inclusive policies. Critical for achieving the Sustainable Development Goal 2, that is zero hunger by 2030. Key takeaways are India has moved from food security to nutrition security now. Future challenges from sustenance to nutrition, resilience, and opportunity. And the path to ending global hunger runs through India, that India serves as a key path or symbol of hope for the global south. Okay, very important and appreciative article, you can say. Next, this is from the text and context. Sorry, this is from the news article. It is Rajya Sabha passes Indian Ports Bill as opposition boycotts debate over SIR. The first part of this article is important for us. That is Indian Ports Bill. Relevant in new Indian Ports Bill is GS Paper 2 Political and Governance and also GS Paper 3 Economy and Infrastructure. Rajya Sabha passed Indian Ports Bill 2025, replacing the Indian Ports Act of 1908, which is a colonial era law. This is in line with the different trends. That is, there was recently Income Tax number 2 bill, which replaced the old Income Tax Act of 1961, and there is also recent changes with respect to various laws, which are replacing the colonial era laws. This aims to modernize India's maritime governance, ensuring long-term planning, digitization, environmental safeguards, and dispute resolution. So, we will see the key provisions of Indian Ports Bill 2025. First is Maritime State Development Council, to be established by the Union Government, will recommend measures for growth of the post sector, competition, and efficiency. Embodies cooperative federalism by involving the states here. National Perspective Plan, that is, central government empowered to formulate long-term maritime trade and port development strategy. Integration of ports with industrial corridors, logistics, and global trade routes. New port notification and alteration of limits. Union government can notify new ports or alter boundaries of existing ports for better regulation. Next, environmental safeguards. It incorporates modern sustainability norms unlike the outdated 1908 Act. Focus is on climate resilient, eco-friendly infrastructure and dispute resolution mechanism. It establishes transparent and efficient resolution system for conflicts among the stakeholders such as state, such as like ship owners, such as port owners, etc., etc. Promotion of competition and efficiency. It encourages public-private partnerships and private sector participation. It seeks to reduce logistics costs and improve India's competitiveness throughout the world. Next, it also has a digital and modern governance. Pushes for digitalization, automation, and real-time monitoring of port operations. So, very comprehensive framework which is going to, if implemented in spirit, it is going to revolutionize the Indian port sector. Okay. Next, final mains article for the day is from the text and context. It talks about who decides nominations to Union Territory Assemblies. What is the context? The Union Home Ministry has told Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court that the Lieutenant Governor of General of Jammu and Kashmir can nominate 5 members to Jammu and Kashmir Legislative Assembly without consulting the Legislative Council of the Ministers. So this is why it has become news. The constitutional provisions is Parliament 12 nominated members in Rajya Sabha by President on Union Cabinet's advice. States Governor nominates Legislative Council members on States Cabinet advice. Anglo-Indian reservation in Lok Sabha and State Assembly was there previously, but it was removed in 2020. So now the nomination is only to Rajya Sabha or legislative councils, and it is done by president and governor respectively. Next, with respect to union territories, it is not uniform for all the union territories. It is different for different union territories. In Delhi, only the elected MLAs and no nominated members. Puducherry, 30 elected plus 3 nominated members by union government, not necessarily on union territories cabinet advice. Jammu and Kashmir, 90 elected plus 5 nominated by a lieutenant governor, of which 2 women, 2 Kashmiri migrants, and 1 displaced from Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Okay, so this is the nominations in different union territories. Next is court rulings. The Madras High Court in Lakshmi Narayanan versus Union of India upheld centre's power to nominate in Puducherry, but suggested Parliament should clarify procedure. Next, Supreme Court in 2023 in the NCT Delhi case introduced triple chain of command, that is civil servants, ministries, legislature and people. The court said LG must follow cabinet's advice except in matters outside of Delhi Assembly's power. This logic may extend to nominations as well. Concerns is nominated MLAs can swing the majority in smaller assemblies like Puducherry and Jammu Kashmir. So nominated members or most of the times are in favor of the ruling party at the center. So it is going to have some sort of political repercussions to these smaller assemblies. Next, political differences between center and union territories may derail this democracy. In Jammu and Kashmir, since statehood is promised to be restored, nominations should ideally be based on the Council of Ministers' advice to uphold democratic principles. So that is the argument provided in this article. Next, process of nomination. In Puducherry, union government nominates directly and it is not based on the Union Territory Cabinet advice. Next, in Jammu and Kashmir, post the 2019 Reorganization Act, LG nominates 5 members. Law is currently silent on whether the advice is needed or not. Center says LG can act independently. In Delhi, there are no nominations. So, this silence on whether advice is needed or not needs clarification, and the Parliament should bring a law in this particular regard. So, these are the main selected articles. Next, a prelims pointer. We will now jump to France. So, this is an image which was given in the Hindu. What is this image? It is about La Feria de Béziers. La Feria de Béziers. What is this Béziers? La Feria. It is nothing but Béziers Fair. It is a traditional summer festival held in Béziers, southern France every August. So, just by looking at bull and the way he is dressed, you might think this is from Spain. Because bullfighting is the national sports of Spain. And this person is called as Matador. But that is not the case in this particular image because this happened in France. That is why I picked up this news. Key features is origins is inspired by Spanish ferias, blending French and Spanish culture. Events, bullfights, that is corridas, which are controversial but centered to ferias tradition. Parades, concerts, dancings and fireworks are also involved, and street celebrations with the food, wine and local produce. Duration is usually runs for 5 days in mid-August. Cultural significance attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors, highlights the Occitan and Spanish influence in the southern France. Okay, so this ends our discussion for the day. If you have any doubts, if you like the initiative, then please write down in the comment box. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.